personal finance, who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. Okay, hey, we're back, and this is the Conservative Syndicate, and we don't give a damn who approves of this message, all right? Glad to have you with us this afternoon. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakos. Let me get Joe on here. You finally got back in here, huh? How'd it go to the doctors, dude?
It went just well, John, just well. I'm
glad to hear. Glad to hear. So tell us about your experience yesterday handing out the signs at the Trump rally.
Oh, it was good, man. A lot of people there. The venue is supposed to hold 7,500 people. There was, according to what they were saying, that there's probably close to 10,000 inside that place instead, and there's at least 2,000 or 3,000 more outside that couldn't get in.
Wow. Was this an actual Trump rally? Was Trump there, or was it just a gathering to get the signs?
No, it was a Trump rally, man. He's there.
Oh, okay. He was there. So how did he sound?
He sounded like Donald Trump.
Yeah, I guess there's only one way to put that.
Yeah, they had Giuliani was there. He did his thing, and then Donald came out and he did his thing. And
that must have been the rally that they were covering. I was talking at the beginning of the show. CNN, they were talking about a rally yesterday, so it must have been the one they were talking about. Were you hearing the chants at all? CNN sucks.
Yeah, I think that was that. There was people saying that yesterday, but I think I just caught the tail end of your opening, and I think that was in another location. But the CNN sucks thing. Yeah, there was. That's happening all over the place. I was while I was waiting at my appointment today, I was watching on the computer, of course, because there's people that think Fox News is this big conservative news thing and everything, and they're all Trump bound and all that. Not hardly. I was watching on the computer as the Trump was landing in Lakeland, Florida, and it's funny. There at the beginning, it was just a live feed from the local Tampa station down there, and they were just panning through the crowd, and I can see there's a guy up in the stands, and he had on a white Trump shirt, but on the back he had written in his own hand, "CNN sucks." And when the camera's on him, he's turned around and you can read it.
I'm surprised that you were watching it on your computer, because I know when I'm down at the VA and I have to wait, they don't put Fox News on there. In fact, they don't even have CNN news.
Well, this wasn't Fox. This was a local Tampa's.
Okay, all right.
So I was watching on what do you call it? It was on Facebook, and so they had the feed going.
Okay. All right. Okay. I find it ironic. When I go down to the VA, I once commented I had to sit in. One time I had to sit for quite a while. I don't normally have to wait down at this VA. We have a good VA out here, but there was one day where I was. Oh, I know what it was. I walked in. It was walk-in, so it took me about an hour and a half to get in to see the doctor, and they had on The View. In the waiting room TV set, and I went up and asked the girl, "Can you change this channel? This just totally sucks. Can you change this?" She goes, "Well, what would you want to see?" I said, "I'd like to, can you flip it over to Fox or someplace like that?" She said, "Well, we're not allowed to do that." And I said,
No,
they're not allowed to do that." So now when you go in, you know what they have? They have everything, all the TVs turned on to the game channel. And they watch all these different weird games, Yeah,
whatever. No, this was a local Tampa feed, the local station down there. So, and because Fox had Shepard Smith, and, he's just about as liberal as you can get any damn way. So anyway, but last night, a lot of fun, a lot of people there. According to the reports, there was one arrest for trespassing. I don't know what the hell that was about. I never saw that. And there was all kind of, like I said, there was plenty of people there. So I don't know. The polls, I think, are full of crap. In fact, I sent you an article today that said the polls are full of crap. And as far as that goes, I mean, there was plenty of people there. I mean, and there were people there early. There were people there. The event wasn't supposed to. The event wasn't opening up till 4:30 in the afternoon. There were people there 2 and 3 hours beforehand.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. You mentioned the polls. We discussed briefly the polls yesterday because one of the things I had noticed, I think, was during my time with Don. Don was on the second hour yesterday, and in fact, I made mention both him and Audrey. I had Audrey on the first hour, and both of them. I said, "Have you noticed that since the debate on Sunday, there's virtually been no polls released as to what's going on out there?" And as soon as I said that, I think it was when I mentioned it to Don in the second hour, and I went to break, and I flipped up the internet here just to see if anything was going on. And sure enough, there was some polls starting to come out. And, it's like, okay, Trump's made a couple points, bounced back or whatever, but we're right back where we were before the debate. It's about, they're saying, the polls are saying, if you want to believe this kind of stuff, that Clinton's ahead by 6 points. So, no harm, no foul, no matter what happened here. They're right back where we are, and it's still 4 to 5 points lower than it was after the first debate when everybody thought, Trump had, taken a major hit here. So I just go back to my contention here. These polls, I don't know how they're skewing them, but my thought is they definitely are skewed, and they can't just come out and admit that, it's probably still pretty much neck and neck.
Oh, they will never admit, and I don't think it's neck and neck. I'll be quite honest with you. There can't be. There's no way. If you go by these rallies, the attendance at these rallies, if you go by just the enthusiasm, there's no way it's neck and neck. There's absolutely no way.
Oh, I know.
I don't believe it for a minute. I believe that people will be out there, and not to tell people, "Oh, it's over. It's a done deal." No, get out there and make sure you vote. Make sure you get everybody you can to vote. But I don't think it's neck and neck at all. I think Hillary's down. I don't think she's ever going to come back.
Right.
I think these people are full of crap, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. I think as this latest round of WikiLeaks begins to unwind and does get some airway, it's not gonna get the airtime as a leaked video of somebody wanting to screw somebody.
Dirty words and stuff. We got to listen to dirty words. We can't have Hillary's emails out there. We can't talk about that at all. We can't have that. But hey, let's talk about what Donald Trump did 11 years ago.
I know. You said something. You said something last week, and it just kind of hit me last night. It was just one of those revealing moments. I was laying in my bed, just kind of hashing over the day and thinking about what I had to do today when I woke up. And, it's kind of a reality here where I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, you know what, at this point, I could care less what happens with Donald Trump. It doesn't make any difference to me. I guess it is because I'm hearing more and more. See, I've been focusing a lot lately on all of a sudden this sudden righteous indignation that exists in the church today. All of a sudden, everybody's concerned about Donald Trump's morality. And I'm thinking, where the hell were you guys back when Bill Clinton was running for office, crying out loud? Where were you when he got caught with his pants down in the White House? And now all of a sudden you're indignant? I'm like,
you're worried about dirty words being covered? I mean, every damn rap song I've ever heard is worse than that.
Yeah, well, I know. Well, I've heard... Hey, as a minister, I've said some things worse than that. I mean, it's been a long time since I've talked about that kind of stuff. But I mean, and in fits of anger, I've said some pretty, barbarous things. I'm still subject to. Let's call it righteous indignation with secular explanations or exclamations,
I'm not trying to elect the Pope or anything else. I mean, this guy is going to have to be, he is who he is. And it's, I'm sorry, you precious little freaking snowflakes, but wake the hell up. You're either on the side of Donald Trump or you're on the side of Hillary Clinton and the progressives and the establishment and the globalists. That's your choices. So suck it up.
Yeah, I'd have to see him like in the middle of a KKK rally wearing a sheet, lighting the cross on fire before I'd have any doubts about who he is right now. It's just the way.
I don't think even that would bother me anymore. Screw that. I mean, no.
Yeah.
Just like I said, as much as Hillary Clinton can do whatever she's doing, and they're still going to vote for her, I'm to that point. I am not ever going to vote for Hillary Clinton or against Donald Trump. I'm going to vote for him because that's the only chance there is of not having Hillary Clinton be president. Yeah. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I know. It's in fact, I'm getting ready to actually sit down and put another chapter together in my book just about pastors who are suddenly concerned about righteousness. It's something else. Hey, we got about 5 minutes here before we go to the break here. I wanted to get your take on this. An article that I picked up this morning. It was by Michelle He Lee. He Lee. Oh, wait, there you go. A Yahoo writer. Okay. And the article is entitled, "Whole Bunch of Facts Don't Support Obama's Claim That Many VA Bosses Were Fired Over Scandal." They start off with a quote from Barack Obama on September 28th. "I don't want to in any way pretend that where we need to be, but we have in fact fired a whole bunch of people who are in charge of these facilities," meaning the VA facilities. And so these guys went and checked it out. And what they have found out there has been 4,095 employees terminated at the VA since July 2014. Okay, but when Obama's quote was a whole bunch of people who are in charge of these facilities have been fired, and so they went and did research, and what they found is they've had 3 employees fired. They had one who had a 15-day suspension. One who was supposed to be removed, but they reversed it. 3 employees retired or resigned while their disciplinary actions were being processed. 5 employees resigned in lieu of adverse action before the disciplinary action took place. So they resigned before they got slammed. And 2 employees were demoted. But those demotions were reversed by the U.S. Merit Systems Protection Board, which is, I guess, another word for union. So it means that there's been a total of 3 senior executives fired from the VA for this big scandal. And Obama's out there, the way this reporter tells it, it's one more lie we can just put on the list from Barack Obama. What's your take on that?
Does not surprise me that Barack Obama would tell us a lie.
Yeah.
Barack Obama would go, "Hey, everything's nothing to see here. I handled it. I'm the great Obama. I handled it. I handled it fine, just like I handled everything else. Just like I handled healthcare. Remember that healthcare thing? We got all our buddies together and we made that great healthcare plan we got going on now called Obamacare or the Affordable Care Act. Ha, ha, ha. If you like your plan, you can keep your plan. Oh, if you want to fire the VA guys, well, no, we're not really going to do that. So
yeah,
it doesn't surprise me one one stinking bit that this guy would make it up or stretch the truth. He out lies.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And guess what? The person he's supporting to be his successor out not lies.
Yeah.
I mean, let's look at it. You know, that's what really ticked me off with that quote unquote Republican majority in Congress. They have done nothing to do with this. Nothing to sit on their hands, whine, complain, go, oh, whine, oh no, we can't do that. What we call racist because we're going against the great Obama. Oh, hey, what, you know? And then if Hillary Clinton ever gets elected, God forbid. Oh, you can't do that because Hillary, you're sexist now. It's a woman, or a reasonable facsimile.
Well, Hillary Clinton is much more like they are than Barack Obama is. So that's even worse.
They do. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be even worse because she plays the game the same way they play the game. So you know that at least, like I was saying yesterday, at least Obama is driven by his ideology. He's a true believer. That's what drives him. And the fringe benefit, of course, is that, he'll make money and he'll become rich and famous and everything else. But that's not what drives him, I don't think. I think it's that ideology that the dreams from my father kind of thing. It's all about self-approval and self-esteem and stuff. Hillary Clinton, she is an establishment type. She's up there with Mitt Romney, for crying out loud.
She's all about the money. That's all. The money is exactly correct.
Yeah, and so that's true. That's absolutely right. So any hopes that it's going to be any different? Will Congress stand up to Hillary Clinton? No, they'll probably sign everything. They'll probably go along with everything. We'll have unanimous votes on stuff that she wants to pass.
And they'll call it bipartisanship.
Yeah, and we'll call it bipartisanship, yeah. Hey, we got to take a quick break here. We'll be right back. Bob Cardoso will be joining us when we get back here today. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if my Skype works the way it's supposed to. I tested it earlier. It worked out okay. So we'll be right back, guys. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate.
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a 4-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So, why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
If you've got joint pain, let me ask you a question. Would you like a high-quality knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Now, just in case your reception isn't great, let me ask you again. Would you like a pain-relieving knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Well, if you have Medicare insurance, you could qualify for these pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And these are high-quality braces. They are very comfortable, and they've helped thousands relieve their pain. Now, I'd like you to imagine going on vacation, playing with your grandkids, just living your life again without pain. The Mobility Hotline is a referral service that connects folks with Medicare coverage and other insurance to accredited companies offering pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And don't you worry about the Medicare paperwork. They'll handle it all for you, and they'll deliver your braces for free. Call the Mobility Hotline now. The call's free. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150.
Am I not speaking English?
The Conservative Syndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. All right, hey, we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. And we're going to try to hook up with our good buddy here, Bob Cardoso, and let's hope. There we go. Oh, there we go. Let's go. Let's see if we can get him added to our call here and get all set up to have him on today. We had a tech problem on Monday, and I want to try to fix it and get him on here on the show today. I really want to talk about this idea of carried interest that was mentioned in the debate last night.
The person you're trying to reach is not available. Please leave a message.
He's trying to call in now, and once again, I can't add him to the call. Damn it. All right, you know what, Joe? I'm going to answer this call, and you call me back, okay? Let's see if I can add you.
Oh.
I don't think.
All right, Bob, you there?
Hey, I sure am, John. I thought maybe you hadn't paid your phone bill again.
Yeah, we still got a problem here. I bumped Joe off the call here to get you on, and I'm hoping he can call me back here. I don't know what. I tested this thing this morning and it worked. Here we are.
You know what? You know what's amazing, John? Because you and I seem to intermittently have the same kind of problem. And this morning I went into a panic because Microsoft sent out another doggone update. And when I saw it, I thought, oh, crumbly, we're going to have the same problem again. But it didn't, so I got lucky, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm going to, I'm trying to, as we sit here and talk here, I'm going to try to get him back on, try something else here and get him back on here. I wanted to, there we go. We're there. All right, Joe, you there?
Okay.
All right, we got it. Yay. Oh, hey, we got it hooked up there.
Holy, it must be a miracle.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, Bob, I wanted, let's get into the discussion here because I really wanted to get some explanation here. There was an interesting little exchange that took place on the debate Sunday night when they were talking about tax reform. And the question was asked had to do with how they were going to ensure that the wealthiest Americans pay their fair share. It was definitely a Democrat-skewed question. But Donald Trump made a mention about getting rid of carried interest provisions. And I know very few people. It was the first time I'd heard that phrase. And very few people really understand that. And I was wondering, I thought, you were the first person I thought of. I said, Bob would understand how to explain that. Can you share with our listeners here what exactly that means?
Sure. It's actually a very simple concept, and they call it carried interest because they don't want to call it what it really is. The truth is we have to keep in mind, coming back, that, Wall Street has donated millions upon millions of dollars to Senate campaigns and congressional campaigns, and as a result, they were able to put a provision into the tax law that recharacterized their income. Now, stockbrokers generally, they make their money either by investing in the stock market or managing other people's money, and they get a percentage of growth on that. So what the stockbrokers write, normally you'd call that earned income. Because of the business that they're in. Well, with these provisions, what they've done is they've had it recharacterized. And so if a stockbroker is managing your money or my money or anybody else's money, and they do a really good job and they get it above a preset growth period, then they're able to get 20% of the growth beyond that guaranteed amount. Now, that 20% is referred to as carried interest. And what winds up happening is, instead of them having to pay income rates on that, which would, and in their tax bracket, would be at 37%, 38%, they get it under a capital gain provision. So they never pay more than 15% on the actual gain. And they're also able to take some of their stock losses, because it's actually being characterized as a capital gain instead of earned income. They can take their dollar for dollar, take their stock loss transactions against that to lower their taxes, plus $3,000 on top of that. Where if they had to treat it as regular income instead of that 15% preferential rate, they would pay 38%, plus they could never take more than $3,000 more than their gains in the market.
Okay, there's a couple. There's a couple.
But now they deducted dollar for dollar against earned income.
Okay, there was a couple of things as I was trying to decipher some of the technical definitions of this stuff, and I know in my days when I was doing financial planning, and we would get people to join a mutual fund. And we were paid on what they call the front end load, meaning we got our commission on the amount of money that was actually invested. This looks like, I guess for lack of a better phrase, almost like a back end load, where you get your commission based on the return of the actual investment. Am I close there?
No, you're right on the money, and it is a back end load, but it's not referred to as a commission because that would be earned income. It's referred to as carried interest. And what winds up happening is that these stockbrokers get a percentage of that growth, and it's usually about 20%. And they wind up getting a percentage of that growth, and they make millions upon millions of dollars, and it's taxed at a maximum net rate of 15%.
Yeah, because what it looks like to me here is if you're paying a total of 23.8% taxes on the total return that you're receiving, your share of the fund, that would actually be. Oh, go ahead, Joe.
No. I wasn't saying nothing.
Oh, okay, all right. 23.8%. That would be a much lower rate than a normal somebody who's making $1 million a year would be in a much higher tax bracket. So it's kind of like a tax advantage to get paid on the back end than the front end. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely. But it's not 23.8; it's 15. And it's only because of the adjusted rate that the modified rate that they call it for 23. But it's really only 15%. And the thing is that they. That 15% tax rate but it's not considered regular income. But they get, because it's not considered regular income, all of their other transactions, capital gain transactions or capital loss transactions during a year, reduce that dollar for dollar. These guys pay just next to nothing in taxes.
Okay, now the fund manager, let's go the other side. Let's say the fund itself doesn't make any money. There's a loss here. So the fund manager can they write off anything, or they only benefit if the fund actually makes money?
No, they only benefit if the fund makes money.
Okay, so this is almost a kind of like you just want people then to invest just to invest because you really can't lose.
Oh, no, you can't lose. And keep in mind that when we're talking about this, they're talking about REITs, and they're talking about not necessarily just companies now. So a lot, when in the case of, let's just use Donald Trump as an example, or Mitt Romney for that matter as an example, these guys are using these managed money transactions in real estate transactions, or REITs, or real estate investment trusts. And so they're using it in real estate, and then they're sheltering all of their income that way. And so the way that they're doing it, if they choose to, they don't even have to take the tax on the gain now, which is why they call it carried interest. They can keep moving it forward and forward and forward in 1031 exchanges into perpetuity.
Wow, that sounds almost like churning.
Yes.
And that's supposed to be illegal.
Yes.
Wow. That and so
make a statement I can say no to.
Well, it meant now that kind of explains very well why we have billionaires like George Soros and Warren Buffett and people like this that run these hedge funds.
Oh yeah. Well, did you see the news today? Warren Buffett's got a real problem. He's sitting on $72 billion that he can't get it invested fast enough. It's going to get taxed if he doesn't get it invested. Wow. He's got $72 billion in cash.
Oh, gee, well, hey, he could hook up with the Iranians. I hear they take a lot of cash like that.
Yeah, that's how you that's how you got to collect your payment here in foreign currency delivered by plane at night. Unmarked bills, unmarked foreign currency. Yeah. Hey, look, we got to go to a break.
But I'll tell you this. Guarantee.
Okay, we got to go to break here. We got to go to break. Okay. When we come back.
Take a break and call me back.
Yeah, well, we'll be back with Bob Cardoso here in just a few moments here. We got to go to commercial break. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. The ConservativeSyndicate.net, the adults in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them their potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
Am I not speaking English?
The ConservativeSyndicate.net, where we speak only one language, American. All right, hey, we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. And we were talking with Bob Cardoso here from Robert Cardoso Live. We're going to see if we can get him back on the line here. And there he looks like he's coming in just fine there. All right, what we're going to be talking about here, we're going to change the topic here, and we're going to be talking about the. Whoa, geez, I lost my thought there. The private-public positions here with Hillary Clinton that has been exposed with WikiLeaks. I think this WikiLeaks thing could really begin to snowball here. You back with us, Bob?
Yes, I am.
All right, okay. On the debate Sunday night, it was mentioned briefly, but it's something that's beginning, I think, to get a little bit of steam behind it. We found out that Hillary Clinton didn't want to release these speech transcripts to Goldman Sachs and some of these other big firms, banks, and corporations, because apparently she has two positions on everything, one to the donors and one to the American public. And I was interested in what you think about that.
Well, you know what? I was going to say crooked Hillary, but I think that term's already being used. But the thing is when you think of Hillary Clinton, and if she gets into the White House, I can guarantee you one thing, and that is that Wall Street is going to be happy. They're not going to be upset at all. She is not going to change carried interest. She is not going to. She's not going to even hurt the upper level tax rates. Those people, she's going to try and reduce those because guess why? Those are the same rates that her and her husband are in.
Well, I was just reading today, just before we came on the air here, she's got another new economic policy that she's floating out there, and that is we're going to give poverty level people tax credits for child care. So if you're making $3,000 or less a year, you can now file for a refund from the government for child care. And
what? They already have child care credits.
Well, I'm sitting there.
Unless they're talking about dollar for dollar, but right now you can get child care credits.
Yeah, well, they
$3,000.
That's the thing. First of all, there's several things about it. If you're earning $3,000 or less a year, who are you? You don't have a babysitter.
You are. Hey, I'm sorry, but you are the babysitter.
Yeah, you're leaving that kid with grandma, for crying out loud. Yeah. And so what are you going to do now? What you're actually doing is you're going to start siphoning money from other taxpayers for the purpose of giving people more money. This is just another redistribution plan, and we're going to call it. And the way she's proposing it is, it's going to lift people out of poverty. I'm thinking, how many tax credits could you claim if you earn $3,000 or less a year? I mean, are you going to get a $6,000 tax return?
Well, here's the problem, and it's existed for a long, long time, especially under Democratic administrations. The problem is that when they don't give a tax deduction, but they give a tax credit, the tax credit, if what you don't use to reduce the taxes you owe, and in the case we're talking about now, you wouldn't owe any, it actually gets added to your refund. So someone who paid absolutely no taxes could get up to about $6,000 in tax refunds.
Well, I'm thinking the plan here. This is, I know how it's being packaged, and to the average mind, we read this stuff and we say, well, that's not even mathematically feasible or possible. So, but what it sounds like to me is they're calling it one thing, but what they're really going to do is they're going to subsidize poverty. And they're going to do it at the expense of the people that are paying taxes, and so that means all this claim that she's talking about that Donald Trump's tax plan, according to the experts, is going to put us into another recession, another depression, and everything else. And now she's just coming out with another gimmick to try to get more poor people to the polls. Because, they can't.
Don, of course she's got to get them to the polls. But think about it. Remember when Bernie Sanders was saying something about explain the difference between being a Democrat and being a socialist, and nobody could define the difference? Well, that's exactly what's going on right now. And she's going to use socialism to get people to the polls to vote for her to ensure that she gets to get into the White House.
Oh, well, obviously, I think it's more than obvious that her platform right now looks much more like Bernie Sanders than it did before Bernie Sanders became a threat. You listen to her go down her bullet point list, the minimum wage. She never even talked about minimum wage until Bernie Sanders brought it up. And as I was listening to her Sunday night go down her little talking point list of the things she's going to do to improve the economy, I'm thinking, my God, we should just put Uncle Bernie on the stage, and you can just go back and have your coughing fits in the back, and nobody will be the wiser for it.
Well, I keep waiting for Pence to lead the Trump campaign and Bernie to join it.
Well, anything's possible at this point. But Joe and I have just come to the conclusion. I'm in total agreement with Joe. At this point, I could give a horse's patoot what Trump does from this point out. I don't care what he does.
I don't care what he does either, because for me it's exciting. I've never seen a campaign like this, and I mean he's just lining up against the wall and loading the guns. This is going to be interesting to see what the outcome is. He could be the demise of the Republican Party.
Well, we have Joe. Joe has something here. Maybe we'll leak this here right now here, because you're wondering what's going on here. Joe was just talking to me about what's going on in Florida. We're seeing the returns coming in, the early voters and the absentee ballots and stuff coming in. What were the numbers you were floating out there, Joe?
Let's see. The Republicans were winning by 120,000 votes in early votes. It's the first Republicans ever to win early votes in Florida so far, and that just started like a week ago. So, yes, they're not actual votes. I mean, there could be Republicans voting for Hillary Clinton in these, but that's 120,000 more Republicans voted than Democrats.
Oh, so you're saying that you're not saying who voted Republican. You're talking about Republicans that voted.
That's correct. And they've never outvoted Democrats before.
Yeah.
Early voting.
Yeah, we're just talking about the total number of ballots that have come in. They haven't been opened yet. They haven't been, dropped into the slot. But the point is that the Republicans are responding in a much larger fashion than the Democrats have, and as Joe said, it's the first time the Republicans have been able to do this in Florida.
So what they would call that enthusiasm.
And that's the thing we're seeing. Well, Joe was at a rally yesterday, another Trump rally yesterday. Said somewhere between 7,000 and 10,000 people. And you go to a Hillary Clinton rally, and you've got you're lucky if you can fill up half of a basketball gym. 500 people.
I think she was lucky to get 750 people yesterday in Miami.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I got to tell you though, guys, I'm not ready to count Trump out. There's Brexit. When we had Brexit in Britain. Everybody said it was ridiculous and nobody was going to vote for it. Nobody in their right mind would vote for Brexit, and they did it on a landslide. Truth is a lot of people are very upset with our government and the makeup of the government and the different branches of government that we have. And I think a lot of them are embarrassed or just sick and tired of having to talk about it and explain it, and they're going to just do their thing when they make their vote. There could still be some surprises here.
Well, I certainly believe my personal think on this. I think Trump is going to turn New York. I think he's going to take Florida. I think he's going to turn Pennsylvania. And if he does that, I think this thing is all over. And it remains to be seen what happens here as we get closer to election time. If we see the left really going super radical with just everything that they can possibly throw against the wall, then that's a sign that they know that there's something wrong out there, and they're going to do everything they can to stop it. So, hey, Bob, we're out of time here. I wanted to give you a moment here to plug your show.
Okay, listen, you can listen to my show every Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. But you know what? We don't want to compete with John's show. And so get my app. Just go to your web page or your app store and search Robert Cardozo Live. It's absolutely free. Download it. You can listen to me anytime, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Or go to my website at robertcardozolive.com, and it'll be available there for you, too. Hey, guys, it seems strange to talk to you on a Wednesday. I look forward to talking to you again on a regular basis.
All right. Thanks so much, my friend. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Okay, guys, we are coming up to the end of the hour here. We've got maybe a minute or so here left, Joe. Joe, Well, I know we don't have time to play that CNN clip. Joe dug up that CNN clip that I mentioned at the beginning of the hour, but let's kind of, we got about a minute and a half here.
Let me just put this out to you, John. If you guys would get your neighbors to pull their heads out of their collected butts out there in California, you might actually have a Trump event in your state.
Well, you know,
there happens, and he ain't coming out there.
I can tell you this, Joe. This is all I can speak for right now. I think people are really going to be surprised at the number of people that actually do show up and vote for Trump. I don't know that it will be enough at this juncture, but I do know this. There are rumblings out here, and one thing I'll hand it to the Republican Party out here. I've been to several of these Republican headquarters over the last couple months for different things. For school board things. We've been trying to hit the school board issue, trying to get some good conservative Christians in school boards. That's how we're fighting the battle right now. But I go into these Republican headquarters, and I'm not hearing anything bad about Trump. And these people, they got Trump signs out there. They've got people out there pushing. So that there is something happening here. It's just we're such a massive size out here that I think I think the telling sign is going to be how many people show up and vote in the presidential election and don't vote in our Senate election out here. And when we see the disparity there, that will tell me where things are going. That'll give me a direction here. We got to go to a break here. We're at the top of the hour here. Edward's Notebook, and we'll be right back.
Stripping money from the U.S. military budget to pour into government school systems is simply exacerbating two major problems. Hello, I'm Ron Edwards. On today's page from the Edwards Notebook, government schools in America have for years received enough money to ensure that more money is spent per student throughout the Republic than almost any other nation on earth. Yet, overall, America ranks 30th in the world in education quality, proving that spending the most money does not ensure the highest quality. Especially since the actual goal of American government school educators is to indoctrinate American students into being glorified, socially conscious globalists who are more in league with the United Nations, open borders, and climate change dogma than reading, writing, arithmetic, and true American history. In addition, the stripping away of needed funding from what has been the best military in the world has produced massive shortages in needed supplies at every level. Thus, the military is now at best heavily strained in the effort to protect America and maintain stability throughout the world. Hopefully, the scenario of double trouble is soon corrected through a return to providential guidance and an appreciation for America the Beautiful. I'm Ron Edwards.
A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. The Conservative Syndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
Prices are for base buildings only. May not be available in some areas. Attention business owners, do you want a stimulus package that really works? Before you spend thousands of dollars more than you should on your next building project, listen to this. General Steel has a stimulus package designed to help you save as much as half the cost of conventional construction on your next building. As much as half. That's right, General Steel can save you thousands of dollars with a pre-engineered steel building designed for your business or church. How about a 50 by 100 foot building for under $30,000? So don't pay thousands more than you should without calling General Steel first and save as much as half the cost and time of conventional construction. With the projected demand for steel in Japan and China, prices may be skyrocketing.
877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. 877-927-3360. Term life insurance. It can be a powerful way to protect your assets and your family. You work hard to earn and save your money to build a nest egg for the future. Don't let it get wiped out because you didn't plan ahead. Take the time now and make a small investment in $500,000 or more in quality term life insurance. Call the Term Lifeline and let us shop the best companies to give you the lowest rates. We specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. Ask about some of our 10 and 20-year 10-year fixed-rate plans with guaranteed rates. Call the Term Lifeline right now for your free insurance quote. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609. You owe it to yourself to protect your family and your assets. Make term life insurance part of that plan. Call the Term Lifeline right now. 800-870-3609. 800-870-3609.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Read something recently worth thinking about. It's the soldier, not the campus organizer, who's given us freedom to demonstrate. It's the soldier, not the reporter, who's given us freedom of the press. It's the soldier, not the poet, who's given us freedom of speech. It's the soldier who serves under the flag, who defends the protesters' right to burn the flag. Isn't it time now to demonstrate that we support our troops? Were it not for the brave, there'd be no land of the free.
Fred Thompson's message was brought to you by citizensunited.org.
Hey, all you can do is just tell the truth and trust in the American people that over time they're going to know what the truth is.
Yes, it is time for the truth. Right here, right now. This is the Conservative Syndicate. Real conservative talk from real conservatives. With your host, John Matthews.
The latter-day prophet. Baying against the hypocrisies of our time.
And Joe Hakos.
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
The Conservative Syndicate is comprised of some of the most informed pundits and activists available today. Together, we seek to tear down the imaginary wall, a separation between church and state through education, information, and engagement on the religion of politics and the politics of religion. And now, your host on the globally syndicated Conservative Syndicate, John Matthews and Joe Hakos.
Okay, we're back, and you're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Hour 2, coming to you live right now, coast to coast and around the world, nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, the Conservative Syndicate. The Conservative Syndicate, where we don't give a damn if you approve of this message or not. That's what we are. That's how we are what we are.
We're deplorable and unredeemable, so it's okay.
Deplorable and unredeemable. That's right. And voting for Trump no matter what. And I've come to the point now where I don't even have to hold my nose.
Nope, I don't care.
Because the alternative is living in a trash bin, if we get the other side on in the White House here. Hey, in the short segment that we have here, we had, you have a clip, right? You had the clip from CNN. I opened the show talking about the CNN meltdown between the various newscasters or pundits or moderators or whatever the hell they were. I don't even recognize half these people anymore. Because I don't watch their station. So, and then on these debates and everything else, oh my God, you know, have you ever, you look at let's say Fox News, all right?
Yeah.
After the debate the other night, they had the after show moderators, okay? Britt Hume and Megyn Kelly, all right?
Ooh,
and
wow.
I don't really care for either one of them, but the point is you had two people there talking. And they brought on a couple of people that were there at the scene, that kind of thing. Megyn Kelly, I think, is really an anti-Trumpster. Because everybody she brings on a show, it's almost like, they're all distant relatives of Rachel Maddow or somebody like that. And Britt Hume tries to offer some kind of balance. But you go over to CNN, And they have got to have the largest tabletop in the world. I counted the other night 12 moderators sitting there at this table, all trying to defend Hillary Clinton's performance. And it was just, I was like, how many talking heads do you need to just say, hey, Hillary is the greatest?
Well, that way, when you buy the pizza for tonight, it comes out cheaper if you have a bunch of people there to put in for it.
Yeah, and David Axelrod is beginning to look more and more to me like that dirty old man you find in the porn theaters.
Because he is the dirty old man you find in the porn theaters. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about just the way he looks. He's like it's like he's sweating all the time now. His hair's greased back and everything. The Snidely Whiplash. That's what I think of when I was thinking, what does this guy remind me of? Who does he remind me of? He reminds me of Snidely Whiplash.
Oh, now I'll come save you now. He wouldn't save anybody. But we're talking about the clip you're talking about is Chris Cuomo, Allison Camerata, Brian Stelter, and Bill Carter.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and play that clip, and you guys got to listen to this. This is funny.
Okay, so here we go. This is CNN the other night because of Trump had a rally, and they were not happy with CNN. And I'm playing. Hello, play. We have a play. Oh, here, this is help.
Of irresponsible things the guy has done. Katie Tour at NBC had to be walked to a damn car by the Secret Service because of what came out of his face. He doesn't think about the implications to anybody other than himself. Have you ever heard of anybody in politics, let alone a presidential nominee, doing anything like this to the Fourth Estate?
This is much, much worse than what we've seen in the past. It is one thing for candidates to criticize the press, say they're getting bad coverage, but Donald Trump is routinely lying to his supporters about the media. In little ways and in big ways. And that has damaging effects for the viewers who are watching, and more importantly, for the voters who support him, because they're being misled.
And there's a mob mentality now at stake. These people are...
Well, hold on there. Now, that's pretty damn insulting. I'm not being misled by anything that CNN is doing or Donald Trump is telling me about CNN. I can watch CNN on my own and actually see those evil bastards doing what they're doing and trying every single day to get Hillary Clinton elected. They'll talk endlessly about Trump's dirty tape and not mention Hillary Clinton's emails or public private persona or any damn thing else she talks about. And these munches have the temerity to come out there and say he's lying to his supporters.
I find it funny. Have you ever seen anything like this? We the reporters, and let me give you the contrasting comment that was made by Britt Hume over at Fox News about commentators and moderators. His mention was, what he said was, well, when you consider the media is actually rated worse in terms of popularity than lawyers. And so I'm sitting there, on one side you've got the CNN people, hey, we are the elite, we are the guys, we are the man, we are the woman, we are the show. And you got Britt Hume over there saying we're the bottom dwellers, and that's how the public looks at us. And yet they still both show up and get their paycheck,
Yeah, they are the bottom dwellers. I mean, the people understand what they're doing, and then these guys Donald Trump is lying to them about us.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, next thing you know, they're going to say, Donald Trump wants to deport all newscasters.
Well, maybe it's true, but people are watching them. It's not like they live in a darkened room somewhere and no one can look in. They're actually seeing it when it's happening, and they're making their own minds up about it, and they agree with Trump that the CNN sucks. Okay? Really?
Absolutely.
We haven't even played the entire clip. I mean, I still got another 2 minutes to go on this clip.
Okay, we got to go to break right now. We'll finish the clip up when we get back. Stay with us right here at the Conservative Syndicate. I'm loving this. We'll be right back, guys. A healthy attitude toward politics will always be relentlessly cynical. The ConservativeSyndicate.net, doing our part to keep America healthy.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification require cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Only Dish brings you the best in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Cut the cable and don't get directed. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. It's so simple. The same channels cost less with Dish. So since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish for the best deal in entertainment. Get premium movie channels free for 3 months, starting at just $19.99. Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call now to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. That's 1-800-600-1645. The same channels for less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately. Call this special tax hotline today for free info at 1-866-761-0959. That's 1-866-761-0959. 1-866-761-0959.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, as if you didn't know. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hakels, and we've got this clip here where I think we're about halfway through it. But the thing that I just find, this so much mirrors the Bertha thing. You remember when somebody at one of the Trump rallies talked about Barack Obama not being a citizen, and Trump never said anything about it. And boy, it was for 3 days. Oh, why wasn't he like John McCain? Why didn't he correct that misinformed supporter of his? And this is the kind of xenophobia and Islamophobia and all the other phobias out there that Donald Trump perpetrates amongst his people. He just has all the phobics out there following him, that kind of stuff. And it's the same thing. Why isn't he dressing down to people because they're saying reporters suck? We all know reporters suck. Even reporters know they suck. For crying out loud. Britt Hume the other day, the most honest thing I've heard come out of Fox News in a while. Yeah, you know, people look at us kind of like just below attorneys and they're at the bottom of the barrel. You know, that kind of thing. So, all right, Joe, you got the con.
Okay, so here again, let me go back. Here is your host, Chris Como, Allison Camarada, Brian Selter, who just said Trump is lying to his supporters, by the way. That made me just blow a gasket there for a second. And Bill Carter. And they're talking about Trump is endangering reporters. I can't even say it without laughing. But anyhow, Trump is endangering supporters' lives. So here, let's play the rest of the clip here.
Yelling and shouting and threatening reporters in a way I've never seen.
That's right. They go over to the press pen. There's the large issue of obviously denigrating the press. But then there's the individual aspect of people going to the press pen. The press are penned in. People don't know that. And yelling at them, making vulgar gestures at them.
Well, no, look, I dealt with it at the RNC. I dealt with it at the RNC. I get the passion. But a politician has a responsibility. You shape the passion of people. I don't mean to call supporters sheep. I respect people who want to back politicians. Trust me. But he makes them angry. And then instead of saying things to you, they want to do things to you. And I'm telling you, something is going to happen.
I agree.
Something is going to happen.
He needs to help bring the temperature down. Instead, he keeps raising the temperature.
But he's not going to, because his whole defense now is to stir his base. And I think this is playing into that as well.
What we're seeing is denialism as well. You know, he's been citing these online surveys again to say he won the debate.
Right.
Those online surveys are unscientific. And if you don't believe me, you can believe Fox. You can believe lots of media outlets will tell you.
It started as a joke. I used to joke, Trump's going to get me arrested someday. Somebody's going to say something in his stead, and I'm going to wind up getting arrested. Now it's not a joke anymore. I got to walk around with Camarada 24/7.
Yeah, I protect him.
So funny.
Hey, now, okay, so that happened at a Trump rally on Monday, right? So it's another rally, a Trump rally on a Monday. That was this past Monday. It was in L.A. And we're going to read from, this is the L.A. Daily News, all right? I turned John's way, all right? One person was taken into custody Monday evening during a pro-Donald Trump rally outside the CNN building in Hollywood. But it wasn't a Trump supporter who was taken away in handcuffs by the Los Angeles police. It was a woman who allegedly spat on one of the demonstrators and then dashed into a nearby coffee shop. That the woman that they are arresting right now spit on me. I had another gentleman spit in my face, said Margaret Schofield, as she carried a Cheeto for Trump sign. The female suspect was being held on a battery count with a spokesman with the Los Angeles Police Department said, "Now, Hillary Clinton, you better get out there and control your people, Hillary. They're out there spitting in people's faces. Come on, you have a responsibility to control those morons that you call supporters."
Well, here's the issue here. This is what's so it's poetic justice here. What we have here is reporters believe that they should be granted diplomatic immunity. It's basically they should be able to walk into the middle of a war zone, and everybody should recognize that they have a camera on their shoulder and a microphone in their hand, and therefore they're exempt from any participation by anybody that's around here. But here's the deal. The deal is these idiots created Trump, along with the Republicans, along with the left. They're all in this. The allegory that I was using at the beginning of the show is the movie Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein has all these good intentions to create the Frankenstein monster. What? He wants to discover the secret of life, and in doing so, as a doctor, he'll be able to help humanity. There's the objective. There's the liberal for you. Everything that I'm doing,
like Alfred Nobel.
Everything.
I'm going to create this dynamite, and no one will ever want to use it in war. It'll be so horrific.
Yeah. And then so what happens? They create the monster. Okay. Well, then the monster scares them. Okay. So then everybody's saying, "Oh my God, we can't have the monster. The monster's too big." And so now we have to destroy the monster. Well, the monster, unfortunately, figures it out and says, "No, that isn't going to happen." So what's he do? He kills the doctor. Okay. This is what I see here. These people, this unholy alliance of the establishment on both sides of the political asylum, the leftists out there that have been for decades now trying to eradicate conservatism and Christianity from the public square, from its existence in the United States. And the media has been the more than willing ally, the media, the conduit by which all this filters down. And now everybody's upset that that the public wants to stone them to death. I'm like,
oh, wow, hey, hello. Ha, 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 ha. You can't, hey, CNN, you can't keep lying to people and expect them to just take it each and every day of the week, every year after year. Eventually, people get fed up and start saying, you suck.
Yeah, and I've said this before. This has been a long-held belief of mine that if the left happens to win this whole thing, let's say Hillary Clinton gets elected 20 years from now, we've become a democratic socialist republic. You poor media types sitting at CNN, you're going to be the first ones on the hit list. Okay, you think that you're going to be protected? You're going to be a threat because the state will want their people sitting in those booths telling the American public what's going on.
Yeah, this is the news. Yes, yeah. This is the news. It's that scene out of Good Morning Vietnam. Here's the news that we're going to play for you today. They pull it off the news wire and nope, can't read that, can't read that, can't read that, can't read that. Here you go. Hey, the weather outside is hot.
Good morning, Vietnam.
It's going to be just like that.
Exactly. So the delusion here is that, maybe you think okay, we're siding with these people and we're all going to be buddies and we're all going to be friends. In the same way that ISIS would not cut off Barack Obama's head in a New York minute, the leftists will cut your head off because they're going to want their own people. If all this stuff comes down, if the net neutrality and the FCC and all these things come down the pipe here and we end up losing our freedom of speech, we regulate the First Amendment rather than eradicate the First Amendment, and all these things come down the pipe, you media types that think that you're safe from being targeted, you have another thing coming. Because where we're going, folks, is anarchy. And in any anarchy, the first people they kill are the media people.
Yeah, you can't have media people running out there that actually might slip up and tell the truth. You know what? And CNN might learn something here a long time ago. If you actually told the truth, you wouldn't have this problem.
Yeah. You'd have a higher approval rating in Congress if you told the truth, for crying out loud. And you'd have better ratings, and you could probably charge more for your advertising.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what's funny? Fox is learning the lesson in the other direction. They are turning more into CNN than they ever had before, and now their ratings are going downhill, and they're losing money. See, that's why I say it's not about the ratings. It's not about that at all. It's about their ideology. And when you said Megyn Kelly doesn't like Trump, well, that's quite obvious. Yeah, you know who else doesn't like Trump? Is Carl Cameron. Campaign Carl was out there just doing nothing but bad-mouthing Trump every report he gives.
Well, there was a little flash in the pan the other day. Megyn Kelly and Sean Hannity got into it. I heard the comment she made on her show that Sean Hannity basically has just become so pro-Trump that he doesn't even want anybody on his show that isn't pro-Trump. In essence, that's what she was saying. That's not exactly how she worded it. But what she's saying is he's being safe with his reporting. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, you're doing the same thing. But anyway, there's this little flare-up between Hannity and Megyn Kelly. And boy, that thing was squelched in 24 hours. I'm wondering who was the department head that stood down and said, hey, you two, get it together.
Yeah, exactly. Because they can't have that kind of dissension there.
Yeah, we can't be debating within ourselves here. That just doesn't work. That isn't fair and balanced.
Yeah, okay. Fair and balanced, yeah. Like they've been doing that for a while.
Yeah. Oh, along that line here, we got a few minutes. Let me tag this in here, okay?
Sure.
UN Human Rights Chief is out there telling everybody that the world is going to be really dangerous if Donald Trump gets elected. All right? Now, this is the UN. This is, who is this guy? What's his name here? I had his name here in front of me here. I love how they always write these articles about these people, and they never really tell you who they are. Okay, let's see. U.S. Republican presidential candidate rebuked from Russia's ambassador to the United Nations. UN Human Rights Chief said Wednesday, defiantly doubling down on his recent expression of concerns about populist demagogues that prompted a rebuke from Russia's ambassador to the United Nations. Okay, so this guy, Syrian, Zaid Ra'ad al-Hussein. Okay, Zaid Ra'ad al-Hussein, who is, I guess, the human rights chief. Here you go. Let's put the Muslims in charge of human rights, all right? Yeah. And he says remarks by Trump are deeply unsettling and disturbing, particularly torture and vulnerable communities.
Oh, geez.
If Donald Trump is elected on the basis of what he has already said, and unless that changes, I think it's without any doubt that he would be dangerous from the international point of view. Yes, he would be very dangerous from the international point of view.
Yes,
translation.
All you globalists need to watch out, you globalists. Yeah. It's this open borders crap that Hillary Clinton's wants, and this
so anyway,
happy family in the Western Hemisphere.
Russian ambassador Vitaly Churkin came out and said, "Hey, you shouldn't even be talking about this. You have no business talking about what's going on in America. That's not your job."
Hey, just real quick, John.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the headline here. Nearly 100,000 Pennsylvania voters switched from Democrat to Republican.
Wow. Yeah, see, I'm telling you, Joe, my gut check tells me some of these states that everybody's locked in blue are not going to be blue. I've got a gut check here that it's just something inside of me, the mad prophet, whatever it is. I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm going, I think there's going to be some real surprises. So we're talking about Ohio, we're talking about Iowa, we're talking about Pennsylvania, we're talking about New York, we're talking about Florida. These are major states that everybody right now thinks is in Clinton's column, and I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think
I would say don't be fooled by it. Just to go out there and vote, because you can't trust these people. I don't trust anything in Pennsylvania anymore, being I was born there, so hey. Yeah. Hey, we're coming at the top of the hour, or bottom of the hour,
We're down here at the bottom of the hour. Time for a break. We'll be right back, guys. Stay with us.
State Talk Radio, WRS Cleveland.
Ever wonder how the credit card companies make their money? Well, think about this. If you owe $25,000 on 5 different credit cards and you make your minimum payments every month, here's what it's going to cost you. Are you sitting down? You'll shell out over $13,000 in additional interest, and it's going to take over 13 years to pay off your original $25,000 balance. That's how they make money. Now it's your turn to fight back by calling the Debt Solutions Network. We'll work on your behalf to reduce your debt. We specialize in credit cards, retail store cards, and medical bills. We promise we can and will reduce your debt. Call right now for a free 15-minute debt analysis. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392. 800-709-4392.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When I had a heart attack at 42, I was not sure what the future held. But a year later, the doctors could find nothing wrong with me and took me off all my medication. What did I do? I took a herbal mixture of garlic, cayenne, and a few other herbs mixed in liquid form. I now call this Extendovite. I would have never believed that a few simple herbs could actually change my life like they did. Now it's your turn to see what the powers of garlic and cayenne can do for you. For only $69.95 plus shipping and handling for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid, you too can begin on your path to better health. For more information, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've owned my company for 14 years now, and I can tell you that payroll is a 4-letter word. I hate doing it. It eats up hours I don't have, and it costs me money I could be saving. But my accountant's too expensive, and I'm not sure who to call, but I know I need help.
We're Paychex, and we take all the hassles out of small business payroll. We save you time and money. It's easy. Call, fax, or give us your payroll information securely online, and we take care of the rest. We calculate the correct taxes, manage payments and direct deposits. We even send out your checks. Payroll doesn't need to be a four-letter word anymore. We're so sure that we can save you time and money that we'll give you a month's payroll free. Just for calling 877-663-3830. Get 1 month's payroll for free. Call Paychex right now. 877-663-3830. That's 877-663-3830.
Hey, I don't back anybody unless I believe in them. And I do believe in the value of investing in gold and silver. And the company I trust to buy my gold and silver from is Swiss America. I've been working with them for nearly a decade. I trust them, and you can too. Swiss America will help you sort through and find the best options available when you're considering investing in gold and silver coins. Listen, for over 30 years, Swiss America has been offering Americans what they want in their investments: safety, liquidity, quality, reliability, and a potential profit. Gold and silver have a place in every investor's portfolio. So why not let Swiss America help you diversify your investment portfolio now? Call now for free information. 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907, 800-978-3907.
If you've got joint pain, let me ask you a question. Would you like a high-quality knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? But just in case your reception isn't great, let me ask you again. Would you like a pain-relieving knee, back, shoulder, or ankle brace at little or no cost? Well, if you have Medicare insurance, you could qualify for these pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And these are high-quality braces. They are very comfortable, and they've helped thousands relieve their pain. Now, I'd like you to imagine going on vacation, playing with your grandkids, just living your life again without pain. The Mobility Hotline is a referral service that connects folks with Medicare coverage and other insurance to accredited companies offering pain-relieving braces at little or no cost. And don't you worry about the Medicare paperwork. They'll handle it all for you, and they'll deliver your braces for free. Call the Mobility Hotline now. The call's free. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150. 1-800-557-6150.
Get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we are having a fun time today. You're listening to the Conservative Syndicate, Real Conservative Talk from Real Conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Higgles. And I hope you enjoyed the last segment here, the last couple of segments, actually. Just watching the media meltdown. These people really are legends in their own mind. It's just, and you know what I really find, I was thinking during the break, Joe, you know what's so funny is that when you look at these people, if you look up the backgrounds of almost anybody that's in the media right now that acts as an anchor or, that type of thing, a pundit on some place like Fox or CNN, you'll find that they graduated from some college as a communications major. Okay, that's the topic. That's the major when you go into this, communications. And yet, isn't it ironic that these people are actually exemplify exactly what communication is not?
Yeah, what's really horrible is they're making six figures a year.
Oh yeah, I think we did this on the show here a few weeks ago. I gave you a list, the top 20 paid newscasters out there.
Oh yeah, and part of that list was the people donating and being members of the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, well, here's an example, a perfect example here. I believe the number one, was the number one highest paid news commentator that's out there right now. I can't remember. I thought it was Brian Williams. I think
it was Matt Lauer.
Huh? Matt? Yeah, you're right. There it is, Matt Lauer. Okay, and the highest paid communications major in the country, Matt Lauer. Okay, all right. It gives kind of a new meaning to the word communications major. But anyway, moving on here, because I have one other topic here that I'm wondering.
Yes, this is a good one too, John, because this is part of the reasons why we do this is because all we heard about was the dirty words that Donald Trump said 11 years ago.
Yeah, and I'm really wondering. See, I don't expect this to be in the mainstream media very long. You know, they have their obligation to report things so that they don't just in their own mind, so that they look like they're actually being objective.
Oh, we covered it.
But yeah, they reported it. Okay, but there's been no real hardcore stuff out there, and you got to look to people like Catherine Herridge over at Fox News. They have a few people over there I really like, and this Catherine Herridge is one of them. She is what you would call a true investigative reporter. She is like Christina Manafort before Christina Manafort got diluted by taking over the ABC show this week, and she just changed her whole persona, I think, and she actually abandoned that post over there, but she now is a full-fledged biased reporter. But this Catherine Herridge, I've got to give her credit. She's out there, she's reporting things and she's reporting facts. She had an exclusive interview with Mark Turry. If you don't know who Mark Turry is the American arms dealer that was charged for felony accounts of selling arms to the Libyans.
Yes.
Okay, and we've talked about it on this show several times, all the time. When we talk about Benghazi, we always bring up that there was gun running going on over there in Libya. And that's why outside of the election, the other side of it was nobody in the Obama administration wanted anybody to know that they were providing arms to dissidents over there through Libya. But they were going into the hands of Syrians and Al-Qaeda's.
Yes, at the behests of the State Department and the Obama administration.
Right, and so they didn't want it to come down the pipe here. Well, Mark Turry is the guy that apparently was the arms dealer and the one that kind of tried to orchestrate based on what he was told he was supposed to do when he originally signed a contract with the United States government. He was supposed to run these guns into rebels out there that were supposed to help take down Assad. And what happened was Clinton put her people in charge of it somewhere down the line, and the guns ended up everywhere but where they were supposed to go. And that was the thing. And so the American government thinking, okay, we got to hang somebody. We need a scapegoat.
Yep.
Let's go after the arms dealer. Okay, because Clinton, remember during her testimony in front of the Armed Services Committee, claimed that she knew nothing about this. She knew nothing about what was going on with the guns deal. And so this guy was saying, well, I was thrown under the bus. I was the guy they picked was going to be the scapegoat. And the reason why these arms fell into the wrong hands was because I was doing this. This was my thing. And I was doing it without the government permission. That was one of the charges, that he was selling arms without government permission to do so. When he's saying, no, they're the ones that hired me. Okay? Anyway, he's saying that the reason why he was designated as scapegoat was to protect Hillary Clinton. I don't believe that for a minute. I think it was to protect Barack Obama.
Absolutely.
Hillary Clinton is just a secondary here. Yeah, she may be the center of attention right now, but this was during Obama's administration. He was the one that was up for a re-election. I bet you if Barack Obama could have thrown Hillary Clinton under the bus to protect himself, he would have done it. But he couldn't do that, so they had to pick a civilian out there, contractor.
So let's remember one thing about this. The reason why we're even talking about this guy, and Catherine Harris is able to talk to this guy, is because Obama's DOJ dropped the charges against him.
Yeah, and here's why they dropped the charges. This is the catch. Here's the zinger, guys.
Yeah.
The department dropped the charges because they had a deadline to produce records that they said they had for the defense. Full disclosure is called. If you're going to prosecute somebody, the defense has a right to know whatever evidence you have against them, whatever records you have. I'm entitled to it as the defense attorney for the defendant, my client. I'm entitled to the same information that you're going to present to the court so that I can have my people look at it and investigate it, validate it, and be able to offer a defense to what it is you're going to. And the Department of Justice didn't want to do that. And so the deadline was coming up. They didn't want to release these records, and so the charges were dropped.
Yeah.
Now, obviously now that's why they're dropping the charges, is because Hillary Clinton's running. But that's not why this whole thing has been drawn out and stalled out. It was to protect Obama's legacy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they drew it out right up to the bitter end so they could protect it.
Right.
I mean,
now,
they didn't want this coming out. There's stuff there they don't want because it'd be a public record. And they don't want it coming out in public record. And I love how this happened. I mean, this thing here where Heritage asks, say, hey, asked by Fox News, who got the weapons? Al-Qaeda, Ansar al-Sharia, or ISIS? He said, all of them, all of them, all of them.
Yeah, they all got these weapons. They went to everywhere.
This is just like the Fast and Furious deal with the Mexicans and the cartels. Oh, this is just going over to the terrorists in the Middle East.
Yeah, Turi, he says was some of these weapons went out under control that we had with our personnel, but they lost control over it. And they lost control over it because Hillary Clinton or the State Department or Obama, whoever directed this thing from our side. You have to say it was Hillary Clinton because she was over the State Department. She's supposed to be the one handling this kind of stuff. And they lost control of it. Okay, here's the woman that's telling us she's got a plan for everything, the most qualified in the world, the most qualified ever to be able to run for president. And we know time and time again, as Donald Trump said in the debate, everything she's done, she's failed at. And why? Yeah. Because she has no control over everything. State Department loses $6 billion. How do you lose $6 billion?
I don't know. Maybe you put it in an airplane and unmarked bills and send it to Iran.
I guess so. But let's outline here in just a minute here before we go to the break here. This is what Turi says he was supposed to be doing. The plan was to have the U.S. government supply conventional weapons to Gulf nations Qatar and the United Arab Emirates, which would then in turn supply them to Libya. And the idea, I guess, was to be able to use these against Gaddafi and Iran, Assad, over in Iran. Am I right, Joe?
Syria,
okay. Now, Turi was working with the CIA, and Clinton's State Department had the lead and used its own people with weapons flowing to Libya and Syria. So he's saying his people, he had a plan. This is what was supposed to happen. Somewhere in the mix, they lost control of it. Now, why did they lose control? Because Clinton's people were injected into the situation, and they lost control of it. And as Joe pointed out, the weapons didn't go to Syria or Libya. They went to Al-Qaeda, Ansar al-Sharia, and ISIS. And so we have supplied arms. The analogy I use, this is Barack Obama's Iran-Contra scandal.
Yes, it's in violation of the Arms Export Control Act.
Yeah, and it was done. Apparently, some people in Congress knew what the original plan was, but everybody was kept in the dark after it all went to hell.
Well, I don't know because, as he says to Fox News, he believes that the emails sent about the weapons program were deleted by Hillary Clinton and her team because they would have gone to an organization within the Bureau of Political Military Affairs within the State Department known as PM/RSAT. The Office of Regional Security and Arms Transfers.
And
that's Jake Sullivan again.
Yeah, it had Jake Sullivan, good old Jake Sullivan. And we know once again we can add this to Hillary Clinton's list of lies because she was asked during the hearing.
Yes.
You had direct. Rand Paul asked her, were any of these weapons transferred to other countries? Any countries, Turkey included. She said, well, Senator, you'll have to direct that question to the agency that ran the annex, and I will see what information is available. And he said, oh, you don't know? No, I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's a woman you want running our Defense Department. There's a woman you want Commander-in-Chief. You say, hey, where are all the weapons at? I don't know. Ask the person in charge. There it is.
I'm not in charge. But you're president, and I'm not in charge.
No, I'm not in charge. Ask my husband, Bill. He did such a great job when he was president. Maybe he knows. I don't know. I got to go to my yoga class. All right?
Yeah, I got a yoga class to go to. And Bill's in charge of interns right now, so he's using weapons everywhere. So ask Bill. Or Chelsea. Chelsea's probably doing the hard work here now.
Yeah, we'll put Bill in charge of the interns. I love it. We got to go to break. We'll be right back. There is an old saying, children should be seen but not heard. At no time is this more apparent than when politicians speak. The Conservative Syndicate.net, the adults in the room. Hey folks, if you're like me, you don't place a whole lot of trust in today's media for the real truth and facts regarding the volatile world of finance and politics. When I want the real scoop on money, I go to the most trusted source I know, my good friend and colleague, Bob Cardoso. Bob is a noted expert with a PhD in international finance who airs his nationally known, globally syndicated show, Robert Cardoso Live Daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. With Bob, you get the right information at the right time from someone who knows his business and can help you make the right decisions concerning yours. Again, Bob airs daily, Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit his website at robertcardosolive.com for information regarding stations and topics. That's robertcardosolive.com. Check Bob out. You'll be glad you did. History affirms a vibrant civil society thrives on freedom of conscience, religion, and choice. Any society absent these qualities stifles individual responsibility and accountability, thus enslaving its people by denying them their potential for goodness, creativity, and altruism. To that extent, oppression, coercion, and totalitarianism are multiplied exponentially. To counter such outcomes, the American Freedom Alliance was formed. The AFA is a nonpartisan, non-aligned movement which promotes, defends, and upholds Western values and ideals. The Alliance strives to build an international coalition of citizens of the West who together promote and protect moral values, democracy, and freedom. To find out more and become part of this valuable asset in the preservation of freedom and all its rewards, contact us at AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. That's AmericanFreedomAlliance.org. Let freedom ring.
Don't get your panties all in a bunch.
The Conservative Syndicate.net, exposing weapons of mass distraction. All right, hey, we're back, and you are listening to the Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives. I'm your host, John Matthews, along with Joe Hagels. I want to tie the loose ends up on this discussion we're having here. Mark Turi, the guy who was contracted by the United States to handle the acquisition of weapons. Now, we got to understand something. My understanding is he had a plan. He was the arms dealer. That means he was the one that was going to supply the weapons, and he had a distribution plan to get those weapons to where they were supposed to go. But none of that ever materialized. The State Department interjected, along with the CIA, their own people into the plan, and as everything else that the government puts its hand to, the stuff ended up in the wrong hands, ended up into the actual enemies of the United States rather than those who at that time were being considered allies. Now, Turi says something here that I think is just fascinating. He says, I actually never even shipped anything. I never even received the contract. He had a contract, but apparently he never got the contract, never received it. And he said, I never really shipped anything. So apparently he provided the arms, but he actually never was the one that actually got to the point where, here are the arms, we'll ship them to you. Okay, I imagine they were turned over to the U.S. somewhere because they got over to Libya, but he's saying, I didn't do any of that. That wasn't me. Okay, all I received was an approval for $534 million to support our interests. And it would have been the United States government that facilitated the operation from Qatar and the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, and by the way of allowing those countries to land their planes and land their ships in Libya. And we know during the Benghazi investigation that there was a mention of ships in Qatar and Libya. And that was the concern. And that's those guns, I think, from those ships. I don't know if they made it to the Libyan compound. Am I right, Joe? My memory's a little vague. Or they never made it. But that's where they were at. There was documentation, I remember, during the investigation that the ships were in the harbors over there, if I'm right. If I remember right. Am I right?
We are Americans, and we have a right to debate and disagree with any administration.
Okay.
Hillary's out there. We've got to be careful.
Yeah. Now, here's the deal, guys. he goes on to say, Mark Turi goes on to say that there's more that should come out about these Benghazi attacks. He said there's a flip side. Some of the operations that I was involved in another country for the agency has a linkage, and there's a backstory to the actual BIPAC program of the surface-to-air missiles that were shipped and mysteriously disappeared out of Benghazi.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering now is, what's this BIPAC program? Is this like the Iran deal? Is that what it wasn't the Iran deal, a buyback program? Okay, so what is there some kind of deal being made behind closed doors to buy back our missiles from those who got them?
It's just more corruption. I mean, the Clintons are involved in anything, and it just becomes stinky corrupt. Just unbelievable how just corrupt these people are. They can't do any, even when they're in charge. They have absolute autonomy to do things, and they still are corrupt, and they can't get it done right. That's how screwed up they are.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Even when there are no other obstructions, we say, okay, you're the Department of Defense, or you're the Department of State, you're the CIA, you're the FBI. You have sole authority, sole jurisdiction over this. Here's the plan. Make it work. And they can't do that. They can't do that in any aspect of it, of anything that they do. Look at Social Security, all the things that they're talking. I heard, Tim Kaine's Social Security, one of the greatest programs America's ever had. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm grateful I have my Social Security. But that doesn't mean it's the greatest program ever. All right?
Well, it's a forced government retirement system. And could you do better on your own? Probably, but you've been forced into this one. The government said, you must have this. You didn't have a choice.
Yeah, well, when I think about it, I'll do a little revelation here. When I filed for Social Security this year, and, what they do is they give you a statement as to how much you've earned and everything else. All the years in the workforce, my principal, what I contributed to Social Security, and I didn't work at McDonald's my whole life, all right? Less than $30,000, all right? Now, I'm thinking I worked in the workforce the better part of 45 years.
Okay.
$30,000 in 45 years.
Yeah, but I'm here to tell you, if you would have had the opportunities to do something else with that money, didn't have it coerced and forced out of you and your employer made to do it, you probably would have been able to do better than.
Oh, I know, absolutely. That's my point. $45,000 compounded at 12% interest, which is the average rate of return on a mutual fund, given loss and gains over a 20-year period. I figured this out. I sat down and calculated it out. Okay. I'd have somewhere in the close neighborhood of $2.3 million right now.
Not allowed to have that, John. That's just too much money for you. When
okay.
Enough,
you have to understand how compounding interest works. Okay, but I'm telling you, I would have a couple mil sitting in the bank right now if I had that same money invested in mutual funds over 20 years. Now, 45 years, who knows what it would be? I'd probably be up into somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 million.
Yeah, well, enough's enough, John. When's enough, man? Seriously, come on. You're going to go and carry that interest forward.
Well, I'll be one of those people. Hopefully, I'll be one of those people that will take more out of Social Security than I put into it. But my point being is that anything privatized, as Franklin Roosevelt originally said, this is supposed to be temporary. It was supposed to end up into things like IRAs and stuff. It was supposed to be something that citizens could use and have choices and make the decisions about it. But here's the other point. That principle I put in there isn't actually there anymore. Okay? Yes. It's been borrowed against. So there you go.
It's taken out of the lockbox.
That's how the whole thing works out. My Social Security is being paid to me on credit.
Yeah, and guess what? The lockbox has been rated. And guess what? Since they rated the lockbox, they want everybody's 401ks and stuff now.
Yeah, and now we're going to give tax credits to people that haven't even earned enough money to pay taxes.
Yeah, there you go.
And we're all going to do it by doing what? By taxing the 1% at some phenomenally...
Meanwhile, there are veterans waiting for treatment and care out of the VA system that can't get it. But we can go ahead and frisk every single person that goes on an airplane in this country.
Yeah. And we're going to take those $3,000 a year families, and by giving them tax credits for child care, we're going to lift them out of poverty. Okay? You're not going to lift them out of poverty unless you've got some way of giving them at least $30,000 a year, because that's what it's going to take to be lifted out of poverty.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
Oh, anyway.
On that happy note.
Yeah, we're coming up on the end of the show here. We got maybe about a minute and a half left here. You got any closing remarks? Oh, I know what it is. Here's my closing remark for the day.
We had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
So, just everybody needs to remember that one when they're thinking about it, and they stand there and they're voting and they're wondering, Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton? Hillary really cares.
Yeah, well, here's my closing thought for the day, guys. The United States has officially declared that Russia is the hacker. So we don't have any proof, but we believe that's what it is, and so it is, and we're going to measure our response proportionately. And let me tell you what that means. That means they're going to measure their response determined by the amount of leaks that continue to come out and the amount of damage that continues to be asserted against Hillary Clinton for her lack of leadership and ability. And that'll be the proportional response. Let's get good old Hans Blixer out of the cellar here and get him out there where he actually belongs. Senator, you got to type up another letter, man, and let him know you're really upset. You're really upset. Really upset. I mean, really, really upset. And we got a red line here just with your name on it, all right? All right, guys, we're done for the day. We'll be back tomorrow, 3 o'clock out here on the West Coast, 6 o'clock on the East Coast. God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the nationally acclaimed, globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's theconservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best in uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, along with Joe Hako, signing off until next time right here at the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.